Right, so here we are. I am changing a starter motor on a Mercedes Sprinter 2014 313 model. So that's a 2.1 diesel engine. Now, you need to get this out of the way, to be honest with you. Well, you have to. Okay, so you have to get that out of the way. That's a turbo actuator. So first thing, let's get the bolts undone. So I've taken the bolt off this end. I've marked it with Tipp-Ex just so that in case anything does get unscrewed, then I can get it back to the original position. But it should be all right because this should just come through that little bracket there. And then when I put it back, I just put the lock nut back on the other end. Undo this bolt. Now these two here are really awkward. So you won't get, it's a T45 Torx bolt size. So I made this up. It's just a bit of paper there, it's just gripping the spanner onto it, an 8mm spanner onto a T45 socket, and that just sort of reversed the angle, if you like, to get in there. There's just not enough room under that exhaust manifold. So I'm gonna, these are loose now. I'm gonna take this off, get this out of the way. I have previously had the heat shield kind of undone because I thought it might have just been a connection issue on the starter motor, but actually there is a solenoid fault. So I'm going to change the whole starter motor. It's only £100 plus the VAT. So get this off, then I'm going to get the heat shield off. If I hit any further problems, I will video it, give you the easy option, I suppose, or hopefully an option. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. Right, so that's the turbo actuator out of the way, and as you can see, that heat shield that's got to come out of the way, you've got a lot better access to that. I've taken the two top bolts out now, and they are going to be either T11 or, oh, well actually no, sorry, they're E11 or E12, so those are female Torx sockets. So yeah, make sure you've got male and female Torx socket sets for typical Mercedes. Anyway, now having done this before, I know that the lower couple of bolts on that heat shield are easier to access from underneath. Okay, so I'm going to jack the vehicle up and put it on an axle stand, and that's going to give me a little bit more access from underneath just to get those two bolts out. They're just a little bit more accessible from under there, and then we can get that heat shield out of the way and have a look at the starter motor. So here's the heat shield now, taking it off. Actually, I thought there was an extra bolt on this for some reason that I had to access from underneath, but that was just the bracket that holds it. So actually I don't need to jack the vehicle up to get access to underneath it, just to take this off. So that's the heat shield there, and there hiding away is the starter motor. Nothing new there, but gone are the days of the old Ford Cortinas where you just took two or three bolts out, dropped it off, whammed a new one in there. It's a shame these things aren't more accessible. I think there's even one on the VWs. You've got to take the engine out to access it. Crazy times. Right, nothing's ever simple. So it turns out the bolts for this come in from the rear of the vehicle, so that it doesn't, the thread for the bolts is on the starter motor itself, so they're coming from the other side, from the transmission bell housing side. So I've got to figure out a way. It looks like I can get to the top one just about, but I think I'm going to have to come up and over a bit of the exhaust and the cross member with some extension bars to get to the bottom one. I'll let you know how I get on. So here's the view from underneath. Looks like it's that bolt, the top one of those two male Torx there, and well, the female socket required, and then there's one just up above to the left there, so those are the two I'm going to undo, and hopefully the starter motor will come loose. I'll speak to you in a minute. Right, just to make life a bit less complicated, the two bolts holding the starter motor in are size E14, so Torx female E14 socket. You're going to need some extension bars as well. The easiest way in, it really is a sort of like above the exhaust from the back of the transmission bell housing that way. So yeah, get yourself that and a few extension bars. But to be honest with you, that's going to be the easiest way. Right, back shortly. Let's get this off. Right, so that there, that's the upper bolt. I had to get an angle on that, so I had to use an E16. It might well be an E16 to be fair. I'm going to have a look once I've got it actually out. Yeah, I've got them both loose now, so the starter motor's loose. So I'm going to take the bottom one out from underneath on the socket, and then take this upper one out by hand from the top, and then that should get the starter motor off. Right, speaking of it. Right, here's a quick look at the extension bars that I had to use in order to access the bolts. Is that lower? That's the lower one, and that's the top one up there, and that's the extension bars I use. But it's got the job done. Got the job done, and the starter motor's now fitted and tightened up. So I just got to put the get the wires on, give it a spin, check it works before I put the heat shield on. Nice one. Right, so once you've tightened up your two starter motor bolts from underneath, you won't need to get back under there, to be honest with you. So let the jack down. Saves you climbing up a ladder to get into the engine bay when the thing's up in the air, whatever. And I'm out of breath, I don't know why. So yeah, just going to hook it all back up and see how we get on. So nice new starter motor all fitted in, wired up. I haven't got all the sensors all plugged in and everything yet, so actually I'm just going to put it all back together and trust that it works. It came with a test certificate and everything. Now listen, when you do them wires up, it's a 13mm and a 10mm. The 13mm being your main power cable, that's fine, and it's got a lock nut. But the little one at the top there, now that only goes into plastic. So as you'll see on my old starter motor, although that didn't actually cause the problem, that plastic just broke off when I tried to undo it. All right, so what I'm saying is, do not over tighten that. Maybe even put a spring locking washer on it, or a bit of maybe a little bit of thread lock. No, actually no, don't put a thread lock on it, because when you come to undo it, you don't want to break the plastic. So yeah, just be mindful of that. Catch up in a minute. Right, so it's all back together now, as you can see. Started up first time, no problem. I'm just trying to think if there's anything I need to make you all aware of. So tool wise, okay, so obviously your E Torx and your T Torx, so the female and male. Did have a bit of an issue with I put a lot of extension bars together for the to get to those bolts holding the starter motor in above the gearbox there, and the one on the bracket I had a bit of trouble getting to with the 1/2" drive. So the first extension was a 3/8 with 3/8, because the E16 or whatever it was, or E14, was a 3/8 drive. So I ran that, and then I ran a converter to run it up to 1/2" drive, because I didn't have enough extensions, but I had plenty of 1/2" drive extensions. So that's worth watching out for. I think I've covered the bit about the plastic bit of the starter motor, so don't over tighten that little 10mm nut. Don't forget to plug your rubber pipe back into the back of the turbo actuator there. I'm guessing some people have forgotten to do that, maybe. No problems at all other than that. I mean, the job took start to finish. I mean, I had a break in between, a sandwich, so I'd probably allow 2.5 to 3 hours, something like that. If I was charging somebody, I'd probably put 4 hours on it in case I hit any problems. But Mercedes wanted best part of £1,000 to do this. Oh, so I might as well mention while I'm onto it that the starter motor itself that I bought, okay, was a WAI, which is, you know what, it came with like this testing certificate here, so it was, they did have some sort of quality control, made in China and that, but so that was £102 plus VAT from Motor Parts Direct, if you're in the UK, obviously. And so in the UK, yep, if you're American and watching this, we have Mopar, but it's Motor Parts Direct. It's not quite as cool as the Mopar your end. So yeah, highly recommend Motor Parts Direct for that. They do a slightly better one for about another 30 quid plus the VAT, but to be fair, the guy, you know, I use them for quite a few parts, and the guy did say to me, look, we sell a lot of these, and, you know, they're no problem. So I would recommend them. I mean, Euro parts, they were over double the price for a really crappy item, and to be honest with you, I just don't like going to Euro parts. You just don't get the service that you should get. And so yeah, Motor Parts Direct, I used the branch in Hastings. They're great down there. I've been using them for years, and yeah, they've probably got, well, they've got branches around the place, so well worth a try. Probably got some sort of postal service as well. And you know what, it saves using eBay. Yeah, you can get it for probably 90 quid or something on eBay, but you know, where's your comeback if something does go wrong? At least with Motor Parts Direct, you can get back down there, you know, if something does go wrong, it doesn't fit, whatever, get it changed over, you know. So yeah, there you go. So that's pretty much it, really. So I hope you enjoyed that video. Well, I don't know if enjoy is the right word. I hope it's helped you out a bit. Maybe made things a little bit easier, just opened your eyes on it, you know. It's doable, you know, your home mechanics and all that sort of stuff. I'm back in the workshop now, and yeah, I don't think there's anything else I need to tell you. So yeah, this is me, Larry, of Larry's Engineering, and see you on the next one, I guess. Don't do many vehicle ones. Maybe I should do more videos on vehicle stuff and diagnostics. I don't know, I'll think about that. Okay, well, good luck. Thank you very much. You can like, share, subscribe. I'm sure there's a box down below or up above, or wherever it is. I don't know. I've not got like millions of subscribers or anything like that. I've got a few hundred, a couple of hundred, I think. But I'm just going to keep it super simple on here, really. There's some stuff about my other workshop, bits and pieces on there about the tattoo machines that I used to build, but do a few more vehicles these days. So yeah, there you go. Okay, take care, look after yourselves, and see you on the other side. Bye bye.